Another Omega f300 wristwatch fixed. This was a coil swap from a 1970s old watch that had damage to gearing and the pawls, but the two wound coils were good. So I took off the entire modules on each side, swapped them both out, and they worked. I've got measurements on the blog posting of what ohms readings each test point should show. That way you can tell if a coil is good or not. This watch originally worked, and then the coils died. Both of them had shorts, open circuit. I went to the spare parts bin, found a movement that I know had gears missing, but I popped a battery into that movement and it started humming right away. So I didn't even have to measure the coils. I just swapped them over and we're running. It's right around Thanksgiving 2020. The first one of these watches I ever fixed was years ago, right before Christmas. So the end of the year, I have a lot of luck fixing these very, very delicate tuning fork movements. These are the Rolls Royce of movements. Part mechanical, part electrical, no quartz. Very expensive, very delicate. Some people, honestly, some people call them money pits. But if you go to the blog posting, it'll detail the repairs needed and some photos. And this is a Omega Constellation with that's an observatory and 7 stars. I think it was for 7 chronograph competitions or something they won. I can't remember. But there you have it. Another Bulova Accutron ESA 9162 movement, which Omega calls the 1250 because it has the date, but not the day on this particular model. I also have a metal wheel that if this starts skipping or having problems, I have a metal version of the date calendar wheel. They're being made now by a guy in Germany instead of the brittle plastic ones, which is kind of a two-edged sword. If you find an old plastic calendar wheel and pop it in for a broken one, what happens is it's going to be a 50-year-old, 60-year-old original wheel, which is made out of very thin plastic on the date-only ones, and it might just break again when you go to set the date or just break on its own. The metal replacements, if you try to set the time between, I think it's 9 p.m. and 4 a.m., that's when people break their watches because they're fiddling around with the time or the dates or anything too close to midnight, depending on the watch brand and model. You won't break that metal wheel, but that metal wheel might break something else, some gear or lever inside there, which may or may not be more expensive to replace and harder to get to. This watch, I don't know if the calendar wheel works or not. I can't remember. I had one that would work all month, and then it would stick on, I thought it might have been the 24th. Actually, it might be this watch. But it might work. Now that's been repaired, it's got coils that are humming. It's got a new battery. I just did a minor surgery on it. Took off the whole module off the back of it that contains the resonators, the tuning forks, both of them. It's basically the electronics. That whole plate. Then I took the transistor and the resonator subassemblies. I think it's called a condensator in the Swiss manual, repair manual, which I also have a link to, so you can print it out. And not bad. Once it's 4 screws to take off the back module. That's easy. Carefully lift it out. 3 more screws to remove both coils. And then swap in the new ones, put it back together, and pop it back in. So not bad. It's 7 screws to get it out. And take off everything. Put the new replacement coils back in. Put the 7 screws back in, and you're good to go. And the link will be in the description that details a little bit more and some technical aspects of what I just did. But another watch, nice and alive.